medicine card reading for the Nomads. I don't know why I'm so nervous for you. Like, are you planning a move? Are you planning a trip? I just feel like a lot of nervousness or being forced to move, evacuating, that kind of energy. So, hello, I am Shoshana, and I do not use tarot. I do not do downloads. I do not channel. I do not do divination. I only use medicine cards. I am a scanner and diagnostics provider, and I only go by the book. I don't do any divinations. I only go by the book and scanning. This is the Indigenous Lakota Sweat Lodge cards. They are medicine cards. And I'm also going to use the Career Oracle because this is very important for people who have a nomad visa or are trying to get one. So I just moved again, and oh, where do I begin? That's why I haven't been as consistent as I would want to because I've been moving and I'm gonna move again in a year. So, um, you know, I hope everybody is doing good. Like I said, this reading is for the Nomads. And the reading is going to be in a little while. We're not going to do the reading just yet, okay? Because first we're going to do a healing. This healing I wanted to do before the full moon. I don't know what I was thinking. The full moon, nasty, spiritual attacking energy, interferences, loops, opposing forces. You know, if you have watched my other videos, I'm always talking about the opposing force. What do I consider the opposing force? The moon. The moon. The moon is the opposing force. The Jin is the opposing force. And there's been a problem with not just nomads. You don't have to be a nomad to benefit from this video. You could be just somebody who's moved, even if you've moved once, okay? The problem is when we move so much, we leave pieces of us in those places, okay? Today, I want you to be in a quiet place where you are not disturbed by constant interruptions because what I want to work on from now on is self-clearing. It's so risky to ask people for help. Everything is contaminated, everything is corrupted, everything has a negative agenda behind it. So even when you're trying to do healing, you are endangering yourself if you join a negative yoga group, a negative Kundalini group, a negative frequency channel. There are frequency channels that will try to abduct you in exchange for their frequencies. So it's important for us to obtain our own frequency set. Tuning forks, singing drums, gongs, bells, hurts. We have to take control of having our own frequencies to use because I noticed that when I look for help on YouTube, let's say I'm having a stomach ache or I feel targeted on my shoulder, I'll try to find a frequency, and a lot of those channels come with an agenda. I should give an example. Aura Triple X. That channel will abduct you. And they have really good frequencies that work, but the person who runs that channel goes with the V's. And the V's are similar to destiny swappers or soul swappers or simply just abductors. Um, and Reiki. I would stay away from all of Reiki. I did a lot of research on Reiki. I tried my best to give it a chance. I got up to 98%, where I believed that 98% of Reiki was bad. I got to 99%. I got to 100. And all Reiki is bad. What the people are trying to do is take a little piece of your soul. They want a little piece of your soul without telling you. All you do is consent for their healing. And you notice that the Reiki is temporary, right? It's just temporary. It only helps for about half a day. And then you go and you see how, I'm not saying this to judge wealthy people. I'm just using it as an example. You see how a lot of the Reiki masters are wealthy. They are wealthy by taking pieces of your soul every time you watch their Reiki videos. And they're not going to tell you, but they will ask for your consent for a reason. So my point is you have to be careful in what you are consenting to, and you have to learn how to clear these things yourself and obtain them yourself. Since I moved, I noticed that I had a lot of fragments that I left in Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii for about 9 years. And then I moved, and then I moved again, and I'm kind of a flying carpet kind of gal. I'm trying to find my forever home in this world that a lot of us cannot comprehend what is going on. Um, but the whole point of me doing this reading is for the nomads who want to fight for justice, who want to fight for real, genuine community, for real humanitarian progress. And the only way that we're going to do that is if we make sure that all of our fragments are back within us, serving our true soul so that we can help humanity, all souls, Mother Earth, animals, how much animals have gone extinct because of the issues, the environmental issues of the world. So let's begin, shall we? So we're in a quiet place. I would take off my shoes. Don't wear any socks. Just put your feet straight flat on the ground. And I want us to go on a little trip down memory lane where we go to all the old houses we used to live in. We can do this rather quickly. All the apartments, all the studios, all the experiences, all the Airbnbs, all the donations. Ah, giveaways, the things you gave away, the things you gifted, the things that touched your hand and then you gave away. Okay, so we're not calling it back yet. We're tapping them first. So we're remembering, we're recalling all these objects, a plant, I see a crystal, I see pets. You can also sandwich together exes, ex-lovers, and all the objects that they touched, all the objects that you touched, their t-shirt, their books, jewelry. So right now you're seeing all this light, right? That's what you're seeing, these lights. It looks like a beautiful city. Okay, so now let's keep going. Let's imagine that all the objects that we ever touched in our entire life was a city lights. So imagine that you're in a dark room and the only thing that is lit up is this city and there's all these little city lights. But if you focus in and you go and look closer, you will see that those lights represent parts of your soul that you touched, that you left in a library, that you left in a past relationship that hurt you, that you left in a past person that you dated, you gifted them something. Then there are the people who didn't wish you well, and they tried to take your light and they tried to take parts of you. They drained your energy. We have people that you try to get healing from, Reiki people. You trusted them and they took all these parts from you, frequencies. You turn around and look behind you and you see that you are covered in city lights. And the city lights start stacking in layers and layers and layers of all these lights that represent parts of your soul that you gave away to the wrong people, the wrong objects, the wrong relationships, the wrong dates. And the closer you look, you start noticing that there's alleys, and you start going and scanning through the alleys of these cities, and you start seeing the lights that were taken from you without your consent. And you go further, and then there's these lights from other lifetimes. Jinn taking your light, Hylix taking your light. Witchcraft, jealousy, people who just wished you harm, all these lights. But do you wish them harm? No. You push that away because the temptation came like a cloud over the city. Oh, I'm going to hurt them back. I'm going to curse them back. That person envied me in my relationship. No. You release the resentment. You release the bitterness. You push away the haste and you embody unconditional forgiveness, because when you are embodying unconditional forgiveness, it repels all disease, it repels all bitterness, it repels all resentment, it repels plague energy. So we pushed away the resentment that tried to hurt us. And now we're looking at this city and we have to get emotional, and it's okay to kind of take that in, and how powerful you are, how beautiful you are, how big you are, that something tried to come and take your light like a moth, right? Your soul is not the size of your body. Your soul is about the size of an airplane and can also expand and stretch. So now you are tempted with the why. Why? Why? Sometimes a healing is not sustained when there are so many questions. And in this particular moment, there's so many questions, there's so many emotions. There's people thinking, wow, why would this person do this to me? Why would this person use my energy to do that? And there's so much of it that we can claim it and call it all back to us. But whether or not it will actually stay, it won't if there's so many questions. So we are going to go ahead and do a reading, and then we're going to call that back to our designated soul. because it's very important that there are no questions. When there's questions, gaps, distance, it leaves space for interference. So we don't want that. We're also going to call on spirit animals, your spirit animal, to help you collect those pieces without interference. A lot of times when there are things that we have to collect or scan or see, our spirit animal is our protector. Everybody has a designated positive spirit animal. Everybody has a designated positive team. And when we're done with the reading, we're going to go ahead and call that animal to help us get that. When we move to a new place, it's very important to smudge. To smudge. And if you don't have smudge, using incense, hookah coals. I use hookah coals. You smudge your house with bay leaf, cinnamon, frankincense, myrrh, cedar. I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. I took a couple notes and I want to make sure that I don't forget nothing. So there's also original timelines that comes included with those lights that were taken from us, was time frames, timelines. We are not in the real time. So in Ethiopia, for example, we are in 2018, but because of CERN and so much time manipulation, we're not in the right time. So that's why it feels like we are not on the time that we're supposed to be in. Okay. So let's see if we can get a why using our medicine cards. What is out of balance? What is the issue that needs to be dealt with so that this alignment of our true soul is sustained as we gather those pieces to its designated place? Right now we're leaving them there because it's very important to feel what's happening so that it doesn't happen again, and so that you become better at preventing that from happening at all in the future. I've never done this before, where I wait so long to clear something. I have been taught by my elders to do things really quickly, but for this one, it's a very interesting one because it wants to be acknowledged, and it makes sense because what needs to be acknowledged are pieces of your soul that you left in objects, the darnest objects. Okay, so we have our first card, and this is the sacred pipe. This is all about our intentions. Ah ha ha ha. Past prayers and past intentions, past contracts. That's why. That's the why. That's the why. Because you know how there was this urge to get angry? We can't get angry at ourselves for not knowing back then what we know now. And back then, you prayed for that person. You prayed for that t-shirt. You prayed for that plant. You prayed for that house. You prayed for that apartment. You prayed for that crystal. Okay, so that's the why. The why is because we requested it to happen subconsciously or unconsciously or intentionally. Okay, and then what is the suggestion? To pat yourself on the back. Every single buffalo that's back here is every accomplishment that you have made. Everything that you have succeeded in. Stop obsessing with what's going wrong with your life and obsess with what's going right. Obsess with positive things, positive ideas. Count your blessings. There's people that have nothing in other countries. Our life is a luxury compared to people who have nothing. So, what is the tool? The final tool? It would be nice to see. I was going to say the spirit animal, but no. The tool to make sure that this is aligned is the whirlwind and storm. So, this is about focusing, making a decision, and following it through. The problem with the collective right now is that you're split in two directions. You're split in two completely different paths. So, in order for this healing to take place and to be sustained and to help you progress on your journey and your purpose and your mission as you want it to be, not how you think other people want to see it. It's about you. There's too much external influences, there's too much distractions. People are thinking too much, caring too much about what other people think, when this is about your soul, your purpose, your mission, and having to protect it and getting back all these ridiculous amount of pieces that have been abandoned. Okay, so no more being in this fork of, let's say it's sobriety. Let's say you have two lifestyles where you love the drinking and party life on one side, and then the other side of you loves golf. And you just can't choose. This will not be sustained if you can't choose a path. And we know that you need to go towards the path of sobriety. It's obvious. So that's just an example. This could also be if you're choosing between two people. Are you choosing between two people? What life would be between two people? What life would be between two countries? What life would be if you sign your soul away to a corporation, or how life would be if you work for yourself. Okay, these major life decisions. Okay, so let's do the spirit animal. Do you know what your spirit animal is? Do you have a drum? Do you have a drum? If you don't have a drum, you can use anything really, but there's a very specific beat that will bring you your spirit animal. Okay, so there's a specific beat that brings the spirit animal to your awareness if you're not aware of what that is. It is not your spirit animal. So, whenever you do the meditation, you want to get grounded. Do not think of your favorite animal, because your favorite animal is kind of an imposter sometimes, or sometimes, not an imposter, but like, oh yeah, an imposter, or just not the one. It could be one that's beneficial at times, but it's not the one. Um, so don't think of your favorite animal. It doesn't mean that it's not your favorite animal. It just, there's your spirit animal and then there's your favorite animal. They're usually two different animals, but if they happen to be the same exact one, that's fine. For me, my spirit animal is the horse. I have a positive horse team, and my favorite animal are birds. And they kind of go hand in hand, but they're separated. One is a favorite, one is a spirit animal, okay? So the beat, give me a minute. It's like a da 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 da. And you can do it for as long as you want. You can do it for as short as you want. But traditionally, I don't want to do too loud because I don't know how that's going to sound. Um, Traditionally, if you do have a drum and you want to do this on your own time, it's not going to affect the what I'm doing at all. You want to visualize going into a cave. You're at a beach and you hear a drumming. And you see a cave and you follow the path and it's so cool and shady. And the further in you go to the cave, the cooler it gets. And what do you notice? Rocks, maybe some moss. And what do you notice? What's the first animal that you see? Don't judge the animal. It makes me so sad when the animal is the correct animal and it's judged. Like, oh, why is it a fox? Or why is it a raccoon? Or why is it this? Or why is it that? Don't judge your spirit animal. Um, let's go ahead and retrieve the pieces. So now we know we forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself. I forgive myself for praying to that. I forgive myself for making a contract with that person I thought was meant for me 10 years ago. Forgive me for working for that corporation that burned me out and drained me of all my vital resources. Forgive me for throwing that away in harshness. And for all the people who energy vamped you, you forgive them. But you take back everything that's yours. And if you are scared to go to a haunted house from your past, you take your spirit animals with you. Let's say it was a prison. Let's say you left a piece of your hair in a prison and you don't want to go in there because scary things happened in that prison that you can never explain in words. You take your spirit animal with you and you say, "Can you please come with me?" Sometimes your spirit animal will go and fetch it for you if you don't want to go all the way. So you see, everybody's spirit animals are going to all the places that you're afraid of. And there's pieces from the corners of the walls. The floor still has the vibration of your toes when you walked by, even if it was years ago. Your laughter, pieces from your childhood in that old house with all the locks, pieces of joy and laughter that was stolen, all that is gathered and gone to its owner, its proper soul owner. We take all those pieces, photographs. If there's people who wish you harm, who have a photograph of you, we take the piece of our soul fragments away from that photo. And that photo will no longer look like us because we've separated ourselves from it and gathered it back. All those pieces are going to go where? They're going to go right underneath your belly button, and you see this glowing ball underneath your belly button, and expand it. Allow it to expand as big as you want it. And you have this beautiful golden ball underneath your belly button with all of those fragments. We are going to need those fragments for what is coming. The nomads, or anybody who felt connected to this, we are needed to improve the condition of life as we know it. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. I do have one more card I forgot to pull. Um, let's pull it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I just want to pull one more card. I completely forgot about the people with the visa situation. So there's some people that feel hopeless about the visa situation, and you're being asked to have courage. Ask what you are afraid of so you can overcome what's holding you back now. There are leadership opportunities for the taking. Remember when I said when we have questions, that's what causes blockages? Um, Ask what you are afraid of. There's what you're afraid of is succeeding. Okay, for those of you who either want to renew a visa, change a visa, modify a visa, make a visa into residency, what you are afraid of is succeeding. Do you know when the enemy attacks the most? When you're about to have a breakthrough. That's when everything seems to break apart, feel targeted, right? When you're just about to have that breakthrough. So, what I feel that a lot of the people here are afraid of when they are just like, how am I going to get this done? That's all opposing force, negative Jin talking, trying to tell you that you can't succeed in where you want to go. If the people who are worried about the whole visa thing, the nomad visa, job visa, whatever, if you're worried, I think it also, I'm sorry, if you are worried and constantly changing your location, there's something wrong. You need, do you remember this card? This is about making one decision and following it all the way through, because when you're driving in a car and you're switching lanes 5 times, you're not going to go to the proper destination. So the real issue, I think, for a lot of the people worried about the nomad situation, the nomad visa situation, is not the visa situation, but something internal inside of you that is afraid of making a mistake. And that mistake is choosing the wrong country. Trust me, I know. I've been trying to do this, you know, trying to choose the right country for as long as I can remember. Like, I think it's been 15 years where I've been trying to choose the right country. And I'm like, you know what? How about maybe not this planet? I give up. I don't know what country's good because it just seems like every country is experiencing this the same amount of turmoil. All the horrible things that are happening in certain countries right now, politically, painfully, they are felt. So if you feel phases, I want to say phases, days, phases. Forgive yourself for feeling the pain of the world sometimes. It's okay. When you feel the pain of the world sometimes, sometimes you just have to light a candle and take a nap. Cry yourself to sleep. I'm lighting a candle for all the victims. And I'm going to cry myself to sleep because, you can't it's okay to feel it sometimes. And when you push it away, it actually makes you a desensitized person. And that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you to be desensitized, like social media. My God, I can only be on it for a couple of minutes because there's this desensitization programming that is really cruel, that gives you horrific news in your face. And then the next post is a funny post. That is programming to desensitize you so that you do nothing to improve the circumstances. Magic. You have the power now. Use your magic to attract what you want in your life. The sky is the limit. So you can live in whatever country it is that you want. It's more of making the right choice of where, and also figuring out why there's something in you that constantly wants to move. Because just because you move, it doesn't mean that you're going to be happier somewhere else. You know what I mean? You're all the issues that you're trying to escape, you're going to take them with you, and those issues are going to be there to deal with. So, make sure that the final location is not an escape. Star power, you need engaging work that will let your talent shine. You are a natural actor and influencer. You attract fame and fortune. So, a lot of people here have entrepreneur skills. You're an entrepreneur, you're a boss, you're overqualified for a lot of the work that is available. So don't sell yourself short. It's easier than you think to move where you want to move. And I would actually recommend dealing with the internal issues before you move. Because if you don't deal with the internal issues before you move, you're going to take them with you. You're going to take them with you to the new beautiful place. But if you deal with all the purging and nastiness before the move of why do you feel that you constantly have to move? It's a lack of safety. But moving is not going to solve that. Moving is not going to solve the safety issue. The safety issue has to come in the present moment, where you convince yourself that you are safe in the present moment because you are. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful week. Till next time. Bye.